Hi, my name is Laura Abadi. We are here on the set of the gallery in Dennisport and talking to Dave Teffer about his cement sculpture. And good afternoon, Dave.
Yeah, good evening.
Well, I see 6 pieces here. I know that we have more in the hall. And one of the things I first noticed about your sculpture was that even though it's concrete, and I think and most people think of concrete as gray, your pieces have different shades of color in them, yes, and also different textures. So would you like to talk about that?
Yeah. Well, most of everything here is what you call hypertufa, and it has cement and perlite and peat moss added to the mix, and that makes it a lighter, a lighter piece. And they are
lighter in color or lighter physically?
Well, lighter physically. And then for the color, I add concrete color right to the mix. I mix all the ingredients dry, and then I add the correct amount of water, and that's what you get.
And you pack them into baskets to get the texture on the outside that is very basket-like.
Yeah, there's several ways of getting the texture. What I've been doing is I've been using wicker baskets for my forms, and then I put the mix in the basket, and then I put a insert in the in the center, like a plastic flower pot. I put it in there, to make the hole for the plant.
I can see the difference in the texture. The inside's quite smooth, even though the outside's rough.
And then I let it cure out for maybe 3-4 days. And then if I have a smooth form for the outside, I can take a wire brush and roughen it up to give it more of a stone texture, And then these grooves in here, I just take a screwdriver or a file, and I put different accents in there, so it
I was going to ask about them.
Makes it look more like stone.
I was reading quickly before we started talking here about what I'm familiar with in looking at bowls like that in this rough textured heavy material are Mexican mortars and pestles that you make guacamole and other different foods in, and those are carved out of stone, but yours are poured or molded against a basket, you were saying.
Right.
How did you start to be interested?
Well, I've done concrete work all my life, and actually I'm still doing heavy concrete work, pouring basement floors and garages, driveways, sidewalks, and doing some of the decorative stuff with that too, stamped concrete, But I'm getting older, so I want to slow down. But it's not working out so far.
Well, having a show is a good idea. That'll start an interest.
I just wanted to try it out because I've always enjoyed working with concrete, especially the decorative part of it. These pieces here are functional pieces, for planters. And another aspect is polished concrete, like tabletops and stuff.
Yeah.
I have some pieces that are polished concrete.
That would be interesting to see. Are they flat and table-like, or are they molded?
Right. And there you can take it to a whole nother level. You can add broken glass and different colored stones.
Sea glass?
Sea glass, whatever you want to put in there. And what you do is you make a form, and then when you pour it, you're pouring it upside down if you want a certain look. If you want to see the stones in the glass, like if this was your form here, you'd put the glass or any inserts that you'd want
down on the
on
bottom.
here.
That's right.
And then you put your concrete in there.
Yeah.
and you vibrate it, and then you wait maybe 4 days, and you strip it out and you tip it over, and then you have to take a wet polisher. It has diamond pads. You start out with different grits. You work your way up to the finest grit to get a nice shine on your concrete.
That would take a lot of patience, I think.
Well, it takes any of it takes a lot of time,
Yeah,
because like the hypertufa ones, you pour them, and after you do strip them out, then you put them in a plastic bag. You first you mist them with some water, and then you put them in a plastic bag and leave them cure out for 30 days.
I bet that would prevent them from cracking. That was the one thing I hadn't thought of before.
Right, right. It gives it a slower cure. It makes the concrete a lot stronger.
And another thing I was wondering about when I was looking at this head was how you formed that. It doesn't look as rough as if it was put into a basket.
Well,
it looks more sculpted with a spatula from the outside.
Right, right. That was a little more difficult to do, because I did have to make that all freehand. So what I started out with was the bottom piece.
That's just the base, yeah.
And then the base has reinforcing that sticks up.
Oh, okay.
And then I took like sort of like chicken wire, and I made the shape with the wire first of all.
Yeah.
And then I also have the two eyes are marbles. So I glued the marbles to the wire first so that they'd be already there.
Good idea.
And
yeah, I would probably have waited until the concrete was there and pushed them in like, like a snowman.
Right, right. But so then I just kept adding layers. And then
does that layers of the concrete?
Layers of the concrete.
That would be something that I think might split off, and the longer curing time would maybe have a...
Well, for that piece I used a certain kind of cement that's called rapid set.
Okay.
And it has additive that's non-shrink.
Okay, so then it wouldn't pull away.
It wouldn't pull away, and I also have the wire in there for reinforcing. So that helped out there. I mean, it did take a while. I mean, sometimes it did want to fall off, but you just keep at it, and there you have it.
Cool, pretty cool. Yeah, it's not, sculpting is like a chip away, and this is adding on to a piece to get a finished.
With the hypertufa mix, though, you could take and make a solid block, and you could wait a couple days and take it out of the form, and it allows you to carve it.
That's neat. That's interesting.
Like a lightweight stone, you could carve it and then cure it out.
Do you concentrate on bowl shapes because they're useful as planters, or not foodstuffs at this point, but you could put a bowl into one of these if you wanted to serve from it.
Well, I think the way the planters came about is a friend of mine had me make them a few planters, and I like the idea that they're useful. They're something that just isn't going to take up space and collect dust.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can put plants in them. You can.
I like that quality about some art.
And
then you want to live with it.
Yeah, I do have some smaller pieces that are candle holders.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, you can, the concrete thing, it's pretty much endless what you can do, because they're always inventing new types of mixes.
Well, one thing that attracts me to the concrete, and I have used it actually, is it's indoor-outdoor, and you can get as large as you want to work into the contrast and the sculptural qualities. And one thing about sculpture is that it's in every light you see it. you see something else because of the way light falls on it.
Right.
But that's it's very useful stuff.
It is. The Romans used it.
What did they use it for? Wow, that's a long
Well, they
time
built
ago.
a lot of buildings with
Huh.
it, and I was just researching it, where their mixes are actually more greener than today's mixes because of the way the cement is made and everything. And what they put in their concrete was volcanic ash.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Volcanic ash and animal additives. And I think the animal additives were like blood from animals. It gave it what you call air entrained. It puts little bubbles in the concrete,
I didn't
so
know
the
that.
concrete can expand and contract.
Huh.
So the Romans had a good idea, I guess.
Well, that's similar to, I guess, what the perlite does in here. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, what the lighter weight materials do is when they are outside in the weather with the roughness to them, you can grow moss on the outside of the
Okay.
planter, so it looks older, rustic.
that's interesting.
So moss and plants will grow on the outside too.
That's a good point. And it becomes sort of like part of the earth.
Right. And having the lightweight concrete, when you water your plant, it holds on. The planter itself holds on to the moisture better.
Yeah, it permeates it like baking. There's
Right.
some baking
Yeah.
bannetons and things that you can soak in water before you bake bread. I know because I've done that too.
Yeah.
And what are some other styles of pottery-like concrete sculpture have you done?
Well, I'm working on a Japanese lantern.
It emits light. It lets.
Well, it's different styles. There's a certain way if you want to get the true Japanese lantern look, But I mean, I'm not trying
Paper.
for perfection here. I'm just having fun and
that's the way to start.
making all different things,
It's like,
But that's something I'm working on because I wanted to try that out.
this is silly to ask, but as a lantern, do you insert glass so that you can get some light out of it?
Well, you could insert glass. You could have the one I'm working on has holes in the side, and then it's going to have a slanted roof to it, and there could be another part above that where you could put a candle. You could put a candle in there if you wanted, or maybe some solar light or something. I don't know.
Are you going to have any examples of that in the show?
No, there won't
No?
be.
Okay.
I don't think. I mean, I can't say for sure. You never know.
That's true. So when you like to work on things and get an idea, that's true. Well, let me see. The lightness and the sculptural head with the marble eyes. The base is sort of pinkish, and the head itself is more gray. And those have two different pigments in them. Or was that planned, or was that?
Right. Well, that's that's the way that piece came out. I mean, if somebody was looking for a certain look, I mean, I could try for that. But a lot of people, if you show them a color chart or a brochure or something, and there's a lot of factors when it comes to the concrete thing.
Might choose a color,
what
and it
kind of
won't be the
cement,
color.
and everything else. So I mean, it can vary, But these weren't created for any specific person in mind. So I just kind of run with it.
That's the best way to get the feel of using the variety, finding the variety in what you're using.
Right.
Well, this is quite wonderful, and I think that there are a lot of different uses to bring these home and enjoy them,
Right.
outdoors or indoors. And is there anything you'd like to add, or did you?
No, I think that's probably about it. This is my first time, doing an art show, and I just wanted to try it out and see what kind of interest there was. I'll probably still have to pour basement floors. People would really have to be interested in this to quit working
Well,
altogether.
I think people will want to buy one of your objects rather than to match the floor. That's
Right.
Architectural Digest.
Right. Yeah.
Please, the curtains, the drapes, and the floors.
Yeah.
But well, they're very interesting. They remind me most of mortar and pestles, but that's only the ones that have bowl-like interiors, and I think there are a lot of different possibilities.
Oh, there are. Like
Yeah.
I said, I've made some candle holders, and you can add different things to it. Like you just don't have to stick with this
actually
look.
do. I used concrete when I was in art school, which was a long time ago also, but I also poured it into and onto different things that I arranged in the bottom of a mold. And then, like you said, let it dry, cured, turned it over, and then worked into it with paints and things. So it was interesting. And I would have done tile of slabs, which is not terribly useful. But
Well, I don't know. It sounds interesting.
it was. I thought so. I enjoyed it too. So that's
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, a lot of people try this stuff, but I mean, I think the thing about it is if you do something, you love doing it, so that's the main reason you're doing it, And
well, it's very sort of earthy. It's got a lot of texture and weight and earthy color to it, and I can see that it's a rugged kind of feeling that you can have working on it. It's not all polished and precise, and it's not like being a seamstress, which is the beautiful artwork that just came down from outside in the gallery.
Yeah.
But cool.
Well, that's what I like. I like the rusticness of it and not having to have anything to an exact measurement or color.
Yeah. Well, eventually, I mean, I don't know how long you've been doing these things, but the more you experiment, the more you might find that you want to refine something to a new idea that you get.
Right.
And that's interesting, too.
Yeah.
Well, it's been very interesting. I really am intrigued by these almost ancient-looking pieces of sculpture. and you're
I'm not that ancient, but
not you. I'm not either. The pieces themselves.
yeah, I know.
And they have a lot of possibility, and you have quite a few more pieces outside in the hall.
Right.
And
right.
I found the usefulness of them is a potential selling point if you want to be an artist with a following like we all do.
Yeah, right. But no, I appreciate your time and appreciate you folks having me here.
And your show will be March 10th, Thursday evening from 5 to 7.
Right.
And so, come one, come all.